Hi there, you're listening to the Next Level Podcast, powered by Shine Now. Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of the Woke Salaryman podcast. I'm kidding, this is the Next Level Podcast, but I'm here today with He Ruiming, Mr. He, who is the co-founder of the Woke Salaryman. Hi, welcome.
Hi, yes, it's true. I am here and I am the co-founder of Woke Salaryman.
Yes.
How are you today?
I'm doing okay. Joel. My name is Joel.
Yes, Joel.
So thanks for coming to the Next Level Podcast. So this podcast is really for us to talk to like industry pros, right? To share like their experiences, their insights, their journey with all of us. No pressure. I think the three previous guests have given me great stories. Are you ready to impress me?
No, but I will try. Nonetheless.
Okay. I mean, let's start with the Woke Salaryman, right? Like, I mean, I do think that most people who are listening to this podcast would already know about the page, but maybe you can give us a quick introduction of like what the Woke Salaryman is.
Yeah. So I think we are like a relatively new personal finance page. Started out last year in April. Yeah, we're still pretty new to the scene.
Okay.
We talk about how to make better life and finance decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just like pulling up Instagram right now.
Yeah.
And you guys have 154,000 followers, like as of right now. Maybe by the time people start listening to this, it'll be more. Like, how do you feel having this number of people like following your page?
Wow. I think it was quite unexpected. Like, we didn't know there were so many people interested to talk about finance and life stuff. Yeah, but it feels quite the Japanese have this saying called ikigai.
Yes.
Yeah, so it feels like our ikigai because we get to solve people's like problems. We get to educate people in a meaningful way. We also earn money from it.
Okay.
And we kind of like it.
Right.
So like all the tree Venn diagrams is the sweet little X right there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, here at the Shine Now team, we have two of the three. We haven't started making money yet. But maybe after this podcast, we can start, because we have tips from you.
Yes.
So before we go deep into the journey with the Woke Salaryman, let's take a step back into the beginning of this whole journey, right? So not every person who has gone through the Singapore education system and whatnot will come out and say, oh, I want to make an Instagram page, right? So how did this all start for you?
Wow. How did that all start for you? I mean, you mean the Woke Salaryman?
Yes.
Yep. So I was in advertising.
Okay.
And I think one thing I noticed about my colleagues in advertising is that they spend a lot of money. I mean, you guys are in Gashlock, right? I'm sure there are quite a lot of big spenders here. I mean, I'm just, using an anecdotal.
Okay.
Yeah. But so when I told them that I felt like they should save more money, so I sent them like several websites that I found like incredibly useful. The response I always got was like, oh, Ruiming, this is damn boring. I can't read it.
Right.
So I thought like, what if we set the bar like really low for personal finance content to just make it like really easy to digest. And then we started, Woke Salaryman. We didn't start with comics at first. I wrote an article about how to save 100,000.
Okay.
I think I wrote it on Medium. That went viral. Then I told my co-founder like, hey, this article went viral, but I think if you added some like cute illustrations to it, it'd probably do better. And then of course like, my illustrator, he sat on it for 2 months. but when he finally got around doing it, like, yeah, the first post went viral and we've been just doing it weekly since then.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have this like worry, right? Like, how do you choose the right partner to go into business with or to start like a long-term journey with? So you were talking about like your illustrator, your partner. That's Wei Chun, I believe.
Yes. Handsome guy.
Ooh. But okay, that's for another podcast.
Yep.
How did you decide that, okay, Wei Chun is the one that I want to do this with?
Yeah. So Wei Chun and I previously worked at Mothership together.
Ooh, okay.
We also went to poly together.
Okay.
So I think after working with Wei Chun for, I think, 2-3 years at Mothership, we kind of knew like we were aligned on the principles of content. I mean, like, even after we both left Mothership, we would occasionally hang out and talk about, hey, what kind of cool content can we create?
Yeah.
I think like, it was from there I decided like, if anyone gets content at the moment and who is within my social circle, it will be Wei Chun.
Right.
Yeah. I think the advertising folks tend to be more big idea sort of people.
Okay.
Like, here's a banner. I want a big idea for the banner. But sometimes life doesn't work that way.
Have you guys fought before?
Oh, definitely. We fight all the time.
Then how do you like navigate that?
So the important thing is that we fight, but we never, we always realize that the other party is trying to create the best content possible.
Right.
So with that in mind, like, we just fight, we have a decision, we push it out. Our most serious fights was, I think, last year when Wei Chun took very long to draw the comics.
Okay.
I think he took like over 2 weeks to draw.
Right.
And I was like, hey dude, we should be publishing once every 10 days. You know, it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Where's the content? But I think what Wei Shun was doing was like he was like perfecting the story. He was adding in like the details. He was trying something new.
Right.
That post actually did, I think it was our second best post of all time. It got close to 70k shares.
Okay.
After the experience, I felt like, hey, you know, there's merit in Wei Shun taking longer to produce the stuff. And I think Wei Shun also eventually got the point that like, hey, we should publish regularly.
Right.
So it kind of takes, for the person you work with to be able to set aside their ego instead of like, you know, insisting like, oh, my way is always the highway.
Okay.
Sometimes you can realize that both of you just want the best thing.
Yeah.
The important thing is to decide on something and then just move on from there.
Now, just to clarify, right? Like, so it's very clear that Wei Chun is the illustrator of the team. So, like, what do you do in terms of like the Woke Salaryman? Like, do you carve out the narratives?
Yep, I collect the stories. I write the stories. Although sometimes Wei Chun writes as well.
Okay.
So I think I write quite a lot of like, you know, the ones where it's talking about personal experience. Like for example, like how I save 100k before turning 30.
Right.
Man, I suddenly can't remember any other titles in my head now. But there are. You gotta trust me on this.
Okay,
you gotta trust me on this.
I trust you.
So I write the stuff. I interview people.
Okay.
I deal with clients.
Okay.
I handle the IG page. Answer questions. I'm the nerd about personal finance.
Right.
Not so nerdy.
Okay.
I think nowadays the term is geeky, so
don't have to justify it to me. Yeah.
Let's just use the word geeky. Just delete everything else before that. I'm kidding. You don't need to. Extra work for your producer.
I just told them just upload everything, but it's okay. But if we curse, we have to take it out because, you know, this is a family-friendly show.
All right.
Yeah.
I will not swear then.
Yeah. I want to ask you about, in terms of going into Woke Salaryman, was there a particular point of time where you guys said, oh my goodness, this is serious. Like we are going to look at this in the long term and this is going to be our career. At which point was that?
Man, I'm not sure whether we can say like we ever thought of it as our career.
Okay.
So I think what we see Woke Salaryman is one of the many possibilities to explore within our lifetime. I mean, we're not tied to the idea of like, we are Woke Salaryman forever.
Okay.
Because I mean, pages come and go, right?
Okay.
The thing about Woke Salaryman is that we took a risk, created something that we liked. And since, you know, not many of such opportunities come by in one's lifetime, we thought just take it. Let's see where it takes us. Although in the beginning, it was just a page where we uploaded comics to regularly. However, like I think over the course of like the first 3 months, I think a lot of people came to us, you know, seeking life advice. You know, I think there was this particular person who was in national service and had just got out of like gambling debt and said like, you know, actually your page helped inspire me to actually start working on my debt.
Right.
So I thought like, well, actually this is really, really meaningful, you know.
Yeah.
It has the potential to change someone's lives. And I thought like, that was the moment we thought like it could actually, it's something we could actually pursue full time.
Right. You mentioned that like, you don't see this being like career, but is there like plans to like expand the brand or grow the brand beyond what it is today?
Yep. So definitely, I think right now we just do comics and articles.
Yep.
I think in the future we might have a podcast.
Yep.
Like
Also competing with me.
Not with you per se, but with Shine Now.
Well, okay lah. I think it'll be quite fun, and I think that people will listen. There are a lot of finance podcasts out there, and I think podcast is gonna be really like the next thing. You know? If it's not already, I
mean, it's a different audience also. Maybe one day you can come on the show.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so like, sidetrack, but like, with finance, right? I'm like the ultimate like loser. Like,
don't say that.
I'm
You're not
horrible.
a loser. You're a winner in my eyes.
Hey, thanks.
In the eyes of your friends watching you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Not. But yeah, like, I mean, if you need like a blank canvas, right, to about finance, I'm the guy for you. So like, yeah, can I be episode like 3? Of the Woke Salaryman podcast?
A bit soon.
A bit soon?
I'll place you around like episode 21.
That's really far.
If I were to be honest, you know, episode 21, you know, give some time for the show to set in, then we introduce the blank canvas.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, okay, it's a yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can sign on it after this.
Yep.
All right. We're going to take a very, very short break now. When we come back, I want to talk to you about your personal life, actually.
Sure.
I want to get to know you a little bit better.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
Hey Joel, what are you doing on the 28th to the 29th of November?
Hey Kat. Nothing much. Any recommendations?
Yeah, I do actually. Shine Now 2020 will be happening on the 28th to the 29th of November. You should check out Now Academy SG on Instagram for more updates.
Gee, I'll save the dates.
Haha, we're back.
It got live audience laughter. Well, I'm again with Ruiming today from the Woke Salaryman. And I want to know a little bit more about your personal journey, right? So you have mentioned that you're a geek in your words about like things like planning, personal finance. Like what made you interested in this field?
Wow. Okay. So a couple of things. The biggest thing was like when I was 25, my mom had a huge stroke.
Okay.
Like huge, like the kind where you collapse at work and you lie on the floor for 30 minutes. Then, doctors come find you. But by the time, I feel like I'm making light of the situation. Yeah, but she has a very serious stroke.
Okay.
And after that, she couldn't bathe, she couldn't walk, she couldn't go to the toilet by herself.
Right.
I mean, seeing my mom in that condition made me want to feel like, hey, I should wake up and, start preparing to provide for the family.
Okay.
If I ever need it.
Right.
On the other hand, it's also that realization that you can actually work for 40 years and not have like a solid retirement.
Okay.
Because she worked most of her life. She started working since she was 20 years old.
Yep.
She had a stroke at 60. So that's 40 years of working non-stop. And then now, unfortunately, she can't travel the world.
Right.
Can't do things she loves to do.
Right.
So, it's a combination of not wanting that for myself and also wanting to be able to provide an environment for my mom. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks for sharing that.
Hey, no worries.
Yeah. But when there is that interest in finance, right? But then knowing that you want to be secure financially and then making that jump into going, I would say that starting an Instagram page or platform like this is quite alternative, right? Like most people will say like, oh, if I'm interested in finance, I'll go into the finance sector and work a 9-to-5 job. So how did you balance that? Okay, I want to be financially stable, but I also want to take a big risk in an alternative route.
I didn't want to become a finance profession because admittedly, that isn't my strength. So my strength is, if I may say, is being able to break down like complex topics.
Okay.
Down to be understandable. I'm not like the most intelligent or most eloquent person, or like I can't do like mental calculations, off the top of my head. But what I'm good at is copywriting.
Okay.
Content creation, being a decent communicator.
Okay.
And I think being able to communicate what I've learned that has helped me the most actually makes like the most impact. When it comes to finance, there are just so many fields, right?
Yeah.
There are so many financial products. But does the average layman need to know like every single one of them? Like, not really.
Nope.
You just need to know like a few, have like a few core principles, have like the right mindset, and that's it, you're set.
Right. The past few episodes, right, when we spoke to all the different guests that we had so far, there were a number of times where this term popped up, which is imposter syndrome. Now, coming from the advertising world and going to a finance world, did you kind of have that as well, like imposter syndrome? Or were you just kind of like, I'm just going to go in guns a-blazing?
Man, does it sound very egoistic if I say
no, it's not.
No imposter syndrome.
It's like
because
confidence, right?
Because number one, we don't claim to be like the absolute genius in finance. There are a lot of people with qualifications higher than us.
Okay.
We always portray ourselves as two people who try to break down complicated topics. Even though we talk about it, we aren't experts, but what you can be assured is that we have talked to the experts.
Right.
Or we have done our research.
Right.
And then we come up with our own conclusions.
Right. And then can I say that is it fair that like you still see yourself as the content creation realm just in the vertical of finance? That's why you are like confident because it's something you're good at doing.
Yeah, and also because I did manage to save 100,000 before turning 30. So, I suppose like actually having gone through like that finance journey and reaching financial independence, not that I'm reaching, but like, maybe in 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Yes, but like having been on a personal finance journey definitely beats just writing about the personal finance journey.
Okay.
For example, if I had 2,000 in my bank and I wrote about saving 100,000, like it won't be as meaningful because you just haven't done it and you lack the credibility to write about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. When it comes to establishing your name in the industry, like, is there a particular goal that you guys want to meet? Or was it just like with every new milestone, we'll just celebrate? Or are you guys working towards being recognized, for example? For some people, it's like, I want to reach 100,000 followers, for example. So is there a particular goal for the both of you?
So I think when we started out, the initial goal was to become this phrase we call it like undeniable.
Okay.
Which is to mean that, if people are talking about personal finance in Singapore, like it would be weird if they didn't mention Woke Salaryman.
Right.
So I think that's the initial goal we wanted to reach at first. The number of followers, the number of audiences that, the kind of stuff like wasn't really that important to us because some pages can have like huge amount of followers but don't really say like anything meaningful. So we concentrated.
Who? Yeah, tell me who.
Hey, don't like this, man. So we just concentrated on creating the meaningful stuff.
Okay.
And we didn't really care about, the number of followers lah, because
Okay.
I think ultimately the right community of people is more important than having like a large and meaningless community.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it. When it comes to like monetizing your content, right? I think it's kind of like, I mean, within the last 10 years, we've kind of seen the industry come to a point where it's like, do consumers like sponsored content? I really know the answer to this, but I just want you to share like how you guys navigate the world of sponsored content.
Yeah. So I think we always tell our readers, media is a business and businesses have to make money. And there are only a few ways this model can work. You can do like, the Real Singapore way. I'm not sure you remember the Real Singapore, but it was this site that published a lot of like tabloid news.
Okay.
Got like a huge number of views publishing controversial articles. So on that play, you kind of rely on like pure clicks.
Okay.
That's one way, display ads,
Right.
banner ads. Then you have sponsored content.
Okay.
Then you have another one where, someone invests in you and then after that, that's it. I mean, I shouldn't say anymore. You know what I mean? Like someone invests in you, then you kind of have to listen to that person.
Yeah.
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 And the last one is, state funded. Once we explain to this, like, there are only 4 ways we can do it.
Okay.
The other way is to, do it as a passion project and publish once a month.
Okay.
People just get the trade-offs, You want regular content, someone's got to pay for it.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay for it, subscriber. That's the 5th model. I missed it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you don't pay for it, someone else got to pay for it. Like, I'm not going to sacrifice my own financial dreams
Yeah.
to run this page
Right.
pro bono. So I think when you explain that to people, they more or less get it. And we declare our sponsored content like quite upfront.
Yeah, super.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite refreshing actually. When I consume your page, I'm a consumer lah. So like a lot of the times the industry tries to like embed it within the content, but you guys are like just sponsored, And to me, it's quite refreshing because like when you guys declare sponsored content, all the more I want to click now because I'm like, I want to support these guys, So it's quite like a reverse Jedi mind trick that you guys play.
So the reasoning we have, right, is that if content is good, it will go viral anyway. People will share anyway.
Yeah.
If it's not good, then whatever lah, it will just die.
Yeah.
I think how it helps is that for ourselves to gauge whether the content is good or not is when someone else from another country shares it.
Right.
So that's when I know like, the content is actually good.
Right.
Because someone from Malaysia shares it, someone from the US shares it. Having those people share it, I mean, kind of tells us like, we're on the right track.
Right.
Yeah.
When it comes to working with clients, right, I want to geek out a bit on the advertising front because a lot of clients do have that mentality of like, we do want embedded content, whereas you guys are so loud and proud about being sponsored. Has there been any pushback from the client side or do they fully embrace it as well?
There has been, and we just drop them.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Why? Like,
I mean, when you come to a publisher, I think we expect like a certain alignment of values.
okay.
And I get that it might sound a bit like, what's that word? Like haughty to say. Oh, you must align our values or something.
yeah,
But
okay.
then like the long-term responsibility that Woke Salaryman has is not to the publisher but to its audience. And one of those responsibilities is transparency.
Right.
So transparency is important, and so it's like being real and authentic. So
Right.
we try not to compromise that because
Right.
in the short term you take money from the sponsor, right?
Yeah.
And in the long term you hurt your fan base.
Got it.
So just like in personal finance, focus on the long term.
Wow.
Yes.
The last segment, by the way, today will be all about tips. So you can start getting ready. But I want to continue a little bit more about the advertising world because obviously the advertising space has changed a lot since social media exploded. We kind of learned that working with publishers or digital publishers or influencers are basically, the new way of like advertising today. But then there's obviously, like, as you said, the need to respect the content creator as well. If you were to speak to brands right now, like what advice would you give them when it comes to approaching content creators to work alongside them? Because the brands on their end, they also have like a particular message that they want to push out or their own agenda they want to push out, whereby to them it's like, I'm spending money, therefore you should just say what I want you to say. How do you find that like happy balance, I guess?
So I think my advice to brands will be always to look out for like long-term partnerships. Think about it. If you erode like the credibility of let's say Woke Salaryman,
Okay.
then in the future we fail to be an ally for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that works across like, different publishers. You cannot ask a publisher to sacrifice credibility just because you paid them like, a few $1,000.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so think about sustainability, because the moment people find out that, actually this brand, the way they create content is quite dodgy.
Yeah.
Or like the past few experiences also, wasn't that great. I'm sure content creators talk to one another.
Yeah.
In the long term, you might actually lose out on people who actually want to carry your message.
Right. That makes sense, actually. One last question about brands and advertising. Was there a particular brand that you were very excited to work with and was a pleasure to work with?
Well, I think I would say Uniqlo.
Yes.
Yeah, so Uniqlo approached us to, I think, talk about their clothing. I mean, obviously, why am I saying I'm such an idiot? Yeah. We told them how we wanted to approach it, which was our approach to dressing. There was like no changes and we just published it.
For real?
Yeah, as is.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really refreshing to work with a client that actually gets it. A lot of clients will try to like, hey, how come my message is not there?
Right.
But we always tell them like, it is better to have 20% of your message in there if it gets shared by like, let's say 3,000 people.
Right.
Versus 100%, but you have to boost the post
Right.
$12,000 to
Right.
to get seen. And even then, maybe there are only 12 shares.
Got it.
Which I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite unfortunate.
Yes.
All
right. So we're going to take another short break right now. And then when we come back, I want to talk to you about tips that you can share with everybody, not just in terms of like finance, but also in terms of like, choosing to pursue your passion. We'll be right back. City Music. The Next Level Podcast is made with the Zoom LiveTrack L8 digital mixer for podcasts, live streams, and music from City Music Singapore. City Music is home to well-loved brands like Martin Guitars, Black Star, Korg, Zoom, and many more. Musicians and podcasters, head over to their website citymusic.com.sg and get that new gear to take you to the next level now. Deity Microphones. The Next Level Podcast is made with Deity Microphones. That's DEITY. They bring professional gear to content creators, filmmakers, and videographers of all levels alike. With Deity Microphones, you are assured of high-quality materials, immaculate design, and damage-defying durability. Visit Catty Photo or City Music to get your very own Deity microphone today. I'm quite good at pop culture, just saying.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what were we talking about? All right.
I can't remember, yeah.
Right. Welcome back to the show. Yes. So this is the next level. We are into our last segment of the day, and I want to ask you for tips. I mean, this should be second nature to you because you have been giving out tips so much on social media. So for the sake of our audience today, I think a lot of them would want to hear finance tips on one hand, and then also as part of the show, we want tips on pursuing passions. So let's start with the former first, on finance tips, right? Perhaps the audience listening to this show will be different from the kind of people that you would usually follow your page. So if you were to kind of introduce the basic principles of what the Woke Salaryman promotes or advocates for, what are some of those tips?
Sure, I think the most basic one is spend below your means. I say below, it's not within.
Okay.
So let's say you earn $2,000.
Okay.
Spend within your means would be spending the entire $2,000.
Right.
Yeah, but if you live below your means, you'll be kind of saying, oh, you only live on $500 a month.
Okay.
Yeah, which is what I did for 3 years after I graduated.
Right.
Being able to save a large amount in the beginning will help you in your financial journey later down the line. If you imagine your money, right, as a little version of you. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just want you to picture now.
Okay. I'm picturing.
Your money is a little version of you.
Okay.
It's
cute.
The longer this money draw works for, right, the more money you make, correct?
Correct.
And the earlier he starts being created, the more money you make for you, correct? So the same thing applies to your money as well. So get started early.
Okay.
And just pour money into Little Joe.
Little Joe.
Yeah, to make money.
Okay.
Don't apply this to children, your actual kids.
Right.
Just apply to the money.
Right.
Yeah. So that's one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another one I would say is to when it comes to looking for jobs, right? Consider a basic economic theory called supply and demand.
Okay.
So let's say I'm a marketing manager, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If there are many marketing managers, realistically, I won't be able to earn much money.
Okay.
Because there are just so many people to press down your wage.
Right.
So if you want to get more money, you should find a role that not a lot of people can do.
Okay.
Yeah, or won't do.
Okay.
For example, a mortician, the person who does up corpses.
Yeah.
I read an article online recently. Yeah, that pays pretty well.
Okay.
So yeah, that's.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know.
I don't want to be a mortician.
All right.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
The future
knows?
is changing.
Yeah.
All the time.
Maybe I'll start a mortician business. Who knows?
Yep.
Okay, never mind. My mind's going a bit morbid.
All right. Okay.
Okay. So that's the second principle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a third one?
Well, let me have a think about it.
Okay, wait. I want to talk to you about the first one first.
All right.
So, it's kind of like spending under your means,
Yeah.
right? That's the principle. But in the Instagram generation, I think a lot of us are willing to spend on experiences or things that we can kind of like put on social media, and that usually comes at a certain price tag, right? Is it a trade-off to not live all those experiences and to, live a simple life? Or you said that you did it for 3 years. Was those 3 years, how did you cope? How do you be content?
Yeah. So there's this concept called like delayed gratification.
Okay.
Like in Chinese it's called 先苦后甜.
可以.
Sweet first, bitter later.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so even though like...
Sounds like my relationships, but...
Wow, okay.
Hey,
Continue.
continue.
You say relationship so plural. Okay, nice. So, okay, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So, even though I spent $500 in the first 3 years of my life, now I can spend pretty much on whatever I want.
Okay.
So it's all about whether you want to spend on the nice things for a couple of years and then suffer for the rest,
Okay.
or you want to work a little hard at the beginning first,
Right.
and then have a smooth life at
Yeah, for the rest.
for the rest of your trip. Interesting story. So when I first graduated, right, I had this crazy plan that I was going to live in the US for 1 year in a camper van before I turned 30.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I told myself, hey, I will save 20,000 after working for 5 years.
Okay.
And then I'll just spend a year in a camper van, having so much fun in the US, driving through like Yosemite, Yellowstone, all that
Yes,
nonsense. I mean, I'm sure social
It's
media
not
is
nonsense, it's a dream.
All right,
but
sure.
continue,
So
yes.
obviously, this got derailed halfway because of my mom's stroke, right?
Okay.
And I went on this financial journey instead. Instead of the van life, I
Okay.
became, like the savings life,
Right.
which isn't as glamorous.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is that I just realized like now I can actually go for this van life thing. I could actually, if I wanted to,
Yeah.
I could actually go for a couple of years on the van life.
Yeah.
But this was only possible because I started saving.
Right.
If I had gone on that van life,
Mm-hmm.
I would have spent that 20,000, come back to Singapore, and then, square one.
Right.
Then I would, have to do everything all over again.
Right.
So it's all about a before after sort of thing.
Okay. I'm convinced.
This is not to say that, you shouldn't have experiences, but I
Okay.
think just consider the trade-offs.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. I need to bring you back to the third principle, if there's any.
I can't remember.
Cannot, is
Can you
it?
tell me?
No. Like, first one is spend below your means,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
What is the second one again? What's the second one?
Start early.
So what's the third one?
The third one is supply and demand when it comes to jobs.
Oh, wait. So we already went to the third one.
Yeah, we did. I can't remember, did we? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst podcaster ever.
Hey, it's okay. It's practice, right?
Yeah.
For the Woke Salaryman podcast.
Sure.
Yeah. Speaking of, should we think of the name for the podcast now?
No, we shouldn't.
I feel like we should.
I feel like we shouldn't be pissed.
I want to meet him. Is he from ADM? I heard.
Yes, he's from
Yeah,
ADM.
I'm from ADM. Do you know?
Now I know.
Like ADM people are cool.
Hey guys, it's Joe from ADM.
I am.
Yay.
Woohoo! Diana's from ADM.
Hey Diana. It's Diana from ADM here.
Yeah.
Best school in the western side of Singapore, which is near the Joo Koon MRT station.
It is very near.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great school, I would say.
Yeah, best school.
What school are you from?
Not NTU.
Okay. All right, so we went through finance tips with you. I want to talk to you about tips about pursuing your passion, all right, or taking the uncharted path and being the hero of your own story. If there are people looking up to you, and there are a lot of people would say hey, if the Woke Salaryman boys can do it, so can I. What are some, insights or advice that you can give them?
There's this trend on Woke Salaryman page, people comment oh, you should follow your passions first, because money is not everything. Then when I sometimes I know this is I shouldn't be doing this, but when I go look at their profile, they're some Singaporean that go study in UCLA and go LSE. Of course they will say money is more important.
Right.
Because they have the money.
Right.
So I would say focus on putting food on the table first.
Okay.
Once you have done that, reach a certain level of stability, then you can pursue your passion.
Right.
I think in society we are brought up to think pursue your passion. If you don't pursue your passion, you're a failure. But that's not true. It's not true at all.
Which society do you grow up in? Because the one I grew up in says we are doctors, yeah?
Is it?
Yeah. But okay.
Well, I guess online you can always hear, like the...
I mean, yes. The narrative online.
Yeah, the whole narrative. Yeah, so just ignore that, because following your passion is actually quite a privileged thing to do.
Okay.
No one should deny that.
Yeah.
I mean, you always need...
I never look at me like that.
No, hey, relax.
I never deny.
Okay, relax.
Hey, okay, relax. I'm relaxed.
All right, okay. Yeah, so following your passion is a privileged thing to do. So the important thing is that you build up and you get that privilege. You earn that privilege to pursue your passion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you haven't found your passion in like the first 3, 5, even 10 years of graduating from uni, don't feel too bad about it. Because some people only find their passions like late in life.
Right.
And there are also like other ways to pursue your passion like outside of your job.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, let's say you like, what do you like?
Wow, putting me on the spot. Britney Spears?
Okay, so let's say you like creating figurines of Britney Spears.
Okay.
Yeah, but realistically, your figurines of Britney Spears aren't that great.
Okay, wait, can I change my
Alright, sure.
Can I change my passion? I want to be cooler.
Okay.
I love writing, like poems. Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you like to write poems.
Okay.
Yeah, but obviously sustaining, yourself of a poet can be quite challenging in Singapore.
Yeah.
You don't need to, be a full-time poet to pursue your passion.
Okay.
You can what do you do now? Like your main role?
I ran this amazing program called Shine Now.
Sure. So you can be the Shine Now guy from 9 to 5.
Okay.
And then you go home and write poetry about shining later.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Good job.
yeah, you could also eventually try to write poems and like sell them, like as a side hustle lah. It doesn't need to be your main thing.
Yeah.
The main thing is that you put yourself in a financial and like mental state that enables you to pursue your passion later.
Yeah.
So if you pursue it now as a poet, I mean it's quite challenging lah.
Right.
Doing so will put your finances at risk, and when your finances at risk, your mental health will be at risk.
Right.
And it's domino effect.
Right.
Yeah.
So go at it in a very logical way.
I would.
Yeah.
Often the people that ask you to like, drop everything.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they often have the privilege to say that.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Thanks.
Hey, no worries.
Well, maybe we can take a look back on your journey. Like, let's go back to serious mode.
Sure, okay, serious
So
mode.
let's take a look back on your entire journey right now. Like, I see here on the research that I didn't do, that you have won a lot of awards, be it the MediaCorp Young Creative Awards or the SGX Op Awards as well. Like, how do you feel when you get like rewarded for something that you decided to like plunge into?
Yeah, so I think awards are wonderful because they do celebrate, and they kind of tell people like, hey, you achieved something, yay. Because sometimes creatives tend to have a lot of self-doubt.
Okay.
However, I think it's important to realize that awards are not everything.
Okay.
Or they might not even be, telling of someone's like true potential.
Right.
I know a lot of creatives who are obsessed about awards.
Yeah.
And I think like that is one thing like definitely not to do. Because some of the best ideas I've heard from people are from people like outside the industry. Is it a strange way to end it?
No, I think.
Yeah. Because you're looking at me.
No, I was listening to you.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I need to work on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or maybe it's just your face.
Oh, yeah. I'm like staring too intently, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll work on my that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome tips.
Nice.
Okay, so before we end today's podcast, I want to talk to you about another passion of yours that you look very excited to talk about. Bikes. Motorbikes and normal bicycles. Like, what is this obsession about? Tell me.
Yeah, so I think one of the big focuses we have at Woke Salaryman is sustainability.
Okay.
Yeah, both like environmental sustainability and also financial sustainability.
Okay.
And bicycles are one of like the most important tools, right, that you can use to do both,
Right.
As you know, like cars are so pollutive.
Okay.
And the planet is just dying day by day.
Yeah.
But cars also kill your wallet.
Okay.
Bicycles, on the other hand, they're affordable, they save the planet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in Singapore, bike culture is not quite as developed as we would like.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it would be great if more people can start cycling.
Nice. Wow, that was quite a noble answer. I was expecting like I look cool while riding a bike.
Oh yeah, also that.
Oh, okay. That is a factor lah.
Yeah.
Because like if I rode a motorbike, I feel like I'll feel cool.
I don't ride motorbikes, I only ride bicycles.
But it says here motorbikes. You like motorbikes.
Oh, then the research was wrong, I guess.
Who's getting fired today? Since we're nerding about bikes, right? Like, what do you think about the whole like bike rental craze that was just around like, a couple of years ago? Like, was that something that you were excited about, or are you glad that it's kind of like gone now?
Yeah, I'm glad that it's gone because I think people in general have proven that when they don't have a sense of ownership of something, they treat it quite badly.
Okay.
So I felt like what could be done about the bike rental thing is that it did not happen at all. Instead, if they had built like bike-friendly facilities and encourage people to bring their own bikes and to make sure that, cycling becomes more of a regular thing instead of like a recreational thing that a lot of people view it as nowadays, I think that would have done a lot better. And also, I guess because of like the whole bike rental thing, nowadays people look very negatively towards the days where we used to ride like OFO bikes and just throw them anywhere.
Yeah.
In a way, it kind of brought us backwards a little. This is just my personal opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any particular biking routes that you recommend? Or are you not one of those? Are you functional in that I'll get to point A and B, or do you like also cycle for leisure?
Oh yeah, so I do both. I think I can recommend the Ulu Pandan Park Connector.
Okay.
Yeah, so that stretches out in the start of Jurong International Business Park.
Okay.
And you can follow it all the way until outside Star Vista.
Oh.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty sweet route. You get to see like otters, monitor lizards.
Right. Thank you, Ruiming, for coming to the Next Level podcast. I think it was quite a chill experience. How was it for you?
Yeah, so, I enjoyed talking to you, Joel.
Yeah, me too, likewise.
Yes.
Cool. Where can they find you on social media?
Yep, they can find us at facebook.com/Woke Salaryman or on instagram.com/Woke Salaryman, www.wokesalaryman.com. You kind of get the idea.
Yeah, I do. And the podcast name will be?
I can't share that with you, I really had to talk to Wei Chun first.
Okay. Send him my regards.
I will.
Yeah. If you want to follow Shine Now on Instagram, it's Now Academy SG. That's NOWACA, cannot spell, ACADEMYSG, Now Academy SG. And you can also follow me on Instagram at LimXJoel. That's LIMXJOEL. This is the Next Level Podcast. We'll see you soon.